we see in advertising and social media, depictions in art, whether fine art or book illustrations, comic books, music, classical to pop music, country music to hip hop, how these reinforce or challenge stereotypes and the marginalization of people. We will appreciate that all acts of literacy and all types of literature are political, including who has access to books, who has access to education, who can read and why, and who cannot read and why not, who has access to technologies that helps with their literacy as well. We will discuss how children's literature therefore is inherently political. We will consider how critical literacy approaches and connects across the curricula to our understandings of social studies and history, art and music education, sciences and math, and health and physical education. And that will be determined by your interest as well. Finally, in our critical literacy approach, we consider how we can advocate for change, whether instituting recycling and all gender bathrooms in our schools, or by supplementing or challenging the school curriculum with literature that is socially conscious and culturally relevant for our students. So these are the books that we will have for the class for the semester. There are only 2 books that are required for the course. Lewis Carroll's, grabbed the wrong book, but Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland and Louis Erdrich's The Birch Bark House. This is a whole row of Alice in Wonderland books behind me, so the right copy's on the shelf somewhere on there. Those are the 2 books that we will read together as a class. And then everybody is broken up into group A or B alphabetically by your name. Those groups are already assigned on Icon, and you can just look on there. And so it's book pairings, but you'll be A or B, but the books are always complementary. So I will just quickly go through a few of those books together that you will have to have. So whether you're in group A or group B, you will spend some time with Kwame Alexander's book, or The Crossover. He's one of the great contemporary poets of children's literature. He's an African American guy, so it's a voice that we don't often have as much of. And he reaches out to boys, and he makes them love reading and writing poetry. I've seen him speak, and these are signed copies by him, and he's a dynamic speaker, and there were a bunch of 10 to 14-year-old boys that were at his book signing as if he were a sports player himself. So you will be reading one of these 2 fantastic works. Just like with Alexander Kwame, I think Tanya Lai is such an important author that I have 2 of her books as well, Inside Out and Back Again, and Listen Slowly. Inside Out and Back Again, this is a novel in verse, and Listen Slowly, it's a novel, a contemporary novel, and they both deal with the Vietnamese and Vietnamese American and immigrant experiences as well. In Listen Slowly, our narrator is a typical all-California sort of girl who must travel to Vietnam with her family and reconnect with her roots there, and so it's a fish out of water sort of story. Inside Out and Back Again is another fish out of water story, and it's based on Lai's own life experience as a refugee after the Vietnam War and her experiences coming to America and going to school and acclimating. So we will look at both of those books. They're very complementary. We will read these 2 great books, One Crazy Summer by Rita Williams Garcia and Brown Girl Dreaming by Jacqueline Woodson. They're both contemporary Black women authors writing about their protagonists, young Black girls. Woodson's book is a memoir written in verse. It's her own story. And Rita Williams Garcia's book is fiction with this fantastic lead character, Delphine. And both of these books are set in the civil rights movement and deal with issues of race. And I think they're important too to think about the Black Lives Matter movement and how we can connect from the civil rights movement to that with our students. And the last two set of books are Raina Telgemeyer's Smile and C.C. Bell's El Deafo. These are both graphic memoirs, so they're both autobiographies, but written in comic book form. Right, so sequential sort of illustrations that we have in comic book form, as well as text. Both of these books deal with our writer, our sort of protagonist, dealing with self-acceptance, making friends, or navigating schools, and C.C. Bell's character is deaf, and Raina Telgemeier, she loses her teeth and has to wear a headpiece, so she's sort of temporarily disfigured and feels very uncomfortable about that. So you can see what the required courses for this book. We have poetry, memoirs, novels, graphic novels, and other sort of approaches. I do have one suggested book for the course, Children's Literature Briefly. It is a costly book, about $90, but it's a very good book. So this is our welcome video. I will do these periodically throughout the semester, recording lectures. I will often do them over PowerPoint or Prezi instead of face-to-face. So welcome to Children's Literature. I hope it will be a great semester, and I'm looking forward to your opening introductions this week. Thank you very much.